Guys, I want to make a quick emergency Bitcoin update, as we have seen now Bitcoin go below the 80K, and I really know that people are really scared and think this cycle is over. So let's go over all of the necessary scenarios now, from the weekly time frame all the way to the 4-hour time frame. I will walk you through step by step and tell you what to look out for. So on the weekly time frame, I've updated my scenarios, added some more. So let's start with the bullish scenario, which we have been looking at all of this time right now, which is simply the impulse here you see in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and an unfinished wave 5, where we would likely touch the target box of 128K to 150K. Where we are then looking here on the daily time frame at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is not yet finished. This is the bullish scenario 1 on the weekly time frame. On the second scenario, we are looking at one more high as well in another scenario, which is here a multi-1-2 from the beginning of this bull market, where we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking for final 4 and 5. Now the difference in this scenario is the level of invalidation. In this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave 4 of a higher degree usually retraces to the wave 4 of a lower degree, which is here marked as the green box, which we haven't hit yet. So most likely a wave 4, or this wave 4, would retrace into this green bar level, green box, and then from here start the wave 5, as this would be the wave 4 of a lower degree, which is here the yellow wave 4. So major difference to this scenario, because here your invalidation would then be hitting the 618, which we will get to later. Now the bearish scenario then is counting this here as a finished impulse at this high, and yeah, starting now the bear market. But we will get to that as well on low time frames. So overall, these are the scenarios, but the probabilities are being decided by the lower time frame analysis, especially on the daily and the 4-hour, I will go on right now. So on the daily time frame, let's switch and take a look at this move here. The bullish scenario is the scenario we have been looking at, right? I've made an update, I think yesterday or the day before. So here we're still looking at a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a wave 5. So this scenario is not invalidated until we hit the 618, taking from the low of 2 to the high of 3. And if I toggle on the 618, this is the invalidation. If we hit this level at 69.5K, this scenario is invalidated. And then we are looking at this scenario where the green box is our target, okay? This is the important difference. So I can simply add it to the scenario here. The bearish scenario would then be this here, where we have counted this already as a finished impulse as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting this here as part of the corrective structure of this previous wave 4. This is also a possibility, which is absolutely fine. Now again, this doesn't mean we are going straight to hell in a bear market, only because this impulse is finished, because this scenario again is still a possibility. So what really matters right now is the 4-hour chart, and I will explain you why. So on the 4-hour chart, it all depends on the structure from the all-time high. This is all that matters right now. Because if it is corrective, if the structure is corrective, then we are looking at either this scenario on the bull scenario, or at the daily, where we take a wave 4, or that we take a bigger wave 4 on a weekly time frame. So simply said, if this is corrective, we are not looking at the bear market. And right now, it does look corrective, because the bearish scenario, where we actually start a bear market from the high, would be this here, where we count this as a multi-1-2. So we need to count this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Now we have some problems here. First of all, this multi-1-2 scenario. Yes, you can put this your white wave 2 up to this pivot, but this wouldn't change at all. I already explained this multi-1-2 problem in the latest Bitcoin update video, but I will explain to you again what is the problem. So first of all, the wave 1, 2 here is shorter than this here. Second of all, this wave 1, 2 is pretty shitty. You can already see it. The wave 1 didn't even take out this low. This is a diagonal, while this is an impulse, while this is some side of complex shit. So it is all not nice. The waves are out of proportion, which is very important in 8 waves, the wave proportion. So this does not hold the highest probabilities. So we would actually be looking at this scenario, at an ABC, counting this as a wave X, and then another ABC, which looks much better. Because another thing is, in this scenario, wait, let me put it. So in this scenario, you are looking here at a wave 3. Now the wave 3 usually is extended and holds the most amount of volume, or the highest amount of volume. That's what we want to see in an impulse. So if we want to see this multi-1-2 unfold, we would like to see this having the highest amount of volume, which we clearly have not, right? We are at this moment, we haven't yet taken out this volume high from this move to the downside, but this was a wave 1 and this should be a wave 3. So that's also something that is not in favor of this scenario, as we have not seen a spike of volume what we want to see. We want this big volume spikes in a wave 3, which we simply have not seen. So here, this scenario really is at the moment the highest probability scenario, where we are looking at a WXY double zigzag. Now here are also 2 very important things to mention. If we are looking at the daily wave 4 scenario, again, daily waves 4 scenario, I'll put it on for you guys this year, where we are looking at this wave 4 and then a wave 5, we need to see this ABC. This is important. We need to see this finish now. Because the other scenario would be if I put this off and put this on in the other daily scenario, which is a finished impulse, it would be maybe a little bit more attractive to see this scenario where we are looking at an ABC. Okay, so you are looking here at an ABCW. Your wave X is not put here but put at this pivot, which means we are looking at an ABC which is not finished yet. So this would be the most attractive scenario in case we already saw a finished impulse on a daily time frame. But this is something that we have to really identify once we see this move to the upside. Because in this scenario, we are looking at all-time highs, while on the other scenario, where we put your wave X here, counting as an ABC, we are also looking at a retracement. And due to that retracement, we can then determine whether we are corrective or impulsive. So that is something that will be very important in the future once we see that. But at this moment, simply because of the 4-hour chart, we can say that this scenario, which is pretty much the only scenario which would lead to a bear market, holds the lowest probabilities. Okay, so let's go over all of the probabilities again on the weekly time frame after we went through this scenario. So on the weekly time frame, if I close this out, on the weekly time frame, the highest probability scenarios currently are this one or this one, right? So overall, the bullish scenarios where we take the all-time high at the moment have the whole highest probabilities. Sorry guys. So on the daily time frame, the bearish and the bullish scenarios, right? This here where we're looking at the wave 4, and this here where we're looking at the finished impulse, currently hold the same probabilities. So the thing to really look at is simply the 618. If we hit it, yeah, then we're looking at this scenario. If we don't, then we can still consider this scenario. But the probabilities simply are literally the same, but it doesn't matter at all because the weekly time frame leads the next trend to the upside. And on the 4-hour time frame, the WXY simply holds more probabilities or higher probabilities than the bearish scenario by far. So this is at least a good thing for the bulls. My opinion to all of this is simply, I think this is simply a shakeout of weak hands, paper hands, which are new to this market and haven't been here through a whole cycle, or at least analyzed a whole cycle. So I think this is not too much to worry about. I mean, Bitcoin is still at 80K at the moment of recording, so I think people are just overreacting. If we don't come lower and take out at least this low, the bullish scenarios are still very much intact. In this case, yeah, this was a quick update. I don't want you to be scared. Don't be emotional. Always be rational. The rational side tells me the highest probability scenarios are the bullish ones. So this is what my bias is going to be. With that in mind, bye bye. See you next time.